Yesterday I got hacked, but the whole ordeal from my mistake to getting my YouTube channel taken over and regaining control over it only took 6 hours, so I guess compared to what other people have gone through in this regard, I didn't do too bad. For my own peace of mind and for the video, I made this minute-by-minute timeline of what happened, and I used email timestamps, file timestamps, and even this little time-lapse camera which recorded what happened in here. And my mistake happened right around here. The account got taken over and locked down here, and then down here I recovered the account. And it started with this email that I received yesterday for an advertising offer with Blackmagic Design, but I can't open that on this PC because this is the compromised PC, and until Windows is reinstalled it'll never connect to the internet again. But here's the email in my Gmail account basically offering sponsored video for Blackmagic Design. Basically pretending to want to sponsor me doing a spot for DaVinci Resolve, which I've been meaning to switch to anyway, so it's like, great! So my reply was followed up with this email asking me to download their media kit, which is in a WinRAR file and protected by a password. It was odd that the media kit was in a WinRAR file because in my experience, WinRAR is just always associated with scammers and fraudsters. But whatever, I downloaded the file and I tried to figure out a way of unpacking that without installing WinRAR, but eventually had to do that. And if you click on it, it just prompts for the password, which of course they sent. And so I unpacked it and I got this. A video example of the logo and the contract agreement. So I clicked on the contract agreement document like this and nothing happened. And I'm okay clicking on it again because this computer is no longer connected to the internet. So then I got suspicious. Why is this document 10 megs in size? Why is it a .scr file? A screensaver? That's an executable. Oh shit. Then went back to my email and this email is not from blackmagicdesign.com. It's .tech. Red flag. So definitely weird. I decided to scan it with Microsoft Defender, but it didn't find anything. And later I realized why they used a RAR file, because with a password protected zip file, you can still see the directory of the files and see there's an executable in there which could arise suspicion, even in transit. But a password protected RAR file, you can't see what's in there, so that's why a RAR file. They were also offering a suspiciously large amount of money for the integration, which was another red flag. I mean, really, the way DaVinci Resolve is promoted by offering a very functional free version, so there's no need to pay YouTubers a large amount of money to promote it. Back to my timeline, at 1:55 I'd unpacked that media kit. At 2:01 I pulled the network cable out of my computer because I wasn't sure things were good. So I wasn't entirely sure it was a scam, but I emailed the scammer back asking, why is the document a .scr file? And he did not have an answer for that, so at that point I'm like, I'm screwed. So I got my laptop computer set up, I went about changing passwords, Facebook, Amazon, other email accounts, Stripe, basically prioritizing financial stuff because I figured that was the most risky. And now I was too busy to check my emails while I was doing that, but there's a bunch that came in at 2:33 p.m. Phone number change, two-step verification code change, security key added, recovery email change. That's all from my main YouTube account. And these 4 emails, that is within less than a minute that those 4 came in. So even if I had been looking at my email this very moment, I would have had a very short window of opportunity to keep that scammer from locking down the account and locking me out of it. But I went on changing passwords, not looking at my email so much. But at 3:15 p.m. I got the first viewer email that my account was hacked. Next one at 3:16, next one at 3:16, next one at 3:16, next one at 3:17, next one at 3:19, 3:19. So they were coming in pretty fast. So given the rate at which these emails arrived, I can be pretty sure that the scammer started changing my account at 3:15. And that's actually surprisingly late because they took over the account at 2:31, so 45 minutes before they started changing the content. In the meantime, I went to a local store to buy a new SSD so I could start reinstalling Windows. Again, I didn't realize the YouTube channel was compromised yet. I got back from that at 3:49, but in the meantime, the scammer started making my videos private, so at 3:19, it was down to 8:09. This is based on screenshots people sent me. So 45 gone. At 3:47, there's 565 left, so 289 gone. And I was able to reconstruct the progress of this happening because so many people sent me screenshots of my channel being hacked, so I used that data to figure out how fast it took them down. So the scammer was setting videos private at a rate of about 6.4 videos per minute. But even while that was happening in terms of YouTube real-time analytics, between 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock, I was still getting a regular amount of views. So people were now watching older videos and commenting that I got hacked. But then after that, they started posting basically scammy content. So between 16 and 17, so 4 and 5, there's lots of views on that, and then there. And then that got taken down. So then I've got very few views here because all my videos are private by now. Basically no content on my channel. But the scammer had set the front page of my YouTube channel to show all kinds of playlists of scam videos. They're all crypto type of videos. So they were still deriving benefit from having hijacked my channel at this point. So after I got back from the store at 3:49, I checked my email and I realized, oh, my YouTube channel's been hacked. Oh shit. And at 3:53, I could see on my camera I picked up my homemade selfie stick with the intention of filming a video because I didn't know what else to do. But I got sidetracked trying to use the Google account recovery form, but I couldn't use it because the account recovery form to recover your account that's been hacked requires you to log into the account to report it, which is kind of useless. I realized later that you can keep clicking on try a different method, and then report it without being logged in, but you still require to put information in there about like your different IDs and stuff like that, which I can only get from getting into the account, so I couldn't meaningly, or at least correctly, fill in this form. So at 4:16, I filmed my I got hacked video, which I posted on my second channel, which had not been hacked, and that went live at 4:21. So then I'm still trying to figure out how to use that form, but again, just frustrating because you pretty much have to be logged in to fill that form correctly, and I couldn't get in the account, so how am I supposed to do that? Emailed John Heiss because I knew that had happened to him as well. But then at 4:56 p.m., so 35 minutes after I posted a video, I got my first email from a Google employee, Kevin, followed by Martin a few minutes later, followed by Max a few minutes later, and a bunch more. And everybody keeps saying, you got to fill in a hacked account form, but how? So eventually I filled it in for my second channel, basically putting in all the information for my second channel because I could get at that one, and put a big note on the end of it saying, this is the wrong channel, I'm actually reporting this other channel. They wanted the channel ID, the random garbles of letters, but I didn't have that written down anywhere because I never use it. But anyways, it was enough to get their attention, so the wheels started turning at this point. And I should also thank the many Googlers who emailed me and internally escalated this thing, so that really got people on it. From my email record, I think there was at least 4 or 5 different case numbers on this because it got started from many different directions. So by 5:52, I got an email from Google support, which looked like it was from a real person, probably was. By 6 p.m., the scammer crypto video was no longer getting views based on analytics, so it got taken down. By 6:43, I actually talked with a real Googler who mentioned that the investigation was in progress, but he's not allowed to tell me the status of it for privacy reasons. Well, I wasn't so much concerned about the state of the investigation. I was just elated that an investigation was happening and real eyeballs were on it, because if a person looks at this, it was pretty damn obvious that the thing was hacked. And with my public video about my account getting hacked, I mean, it was, I think, a pretty clear case for any real person looking at this. So at that point, I was really relieved and I decided to go for a walk. A pretty long walk, 32 minutes. I needed something to just calm me down. And within 2 minutes of entering the door, I got an email from Google, basically with a password reset link to recover the account associated with the YouTube channel. And ironically, within 4 minutes, that was followed up by an email from another Googler that had emailed saying they sent a link. And by 8:02 p.m., I was back in the account and first working on securing the Gmail account, making sure that wasn't screwed up. Not until 8:30 did I get to basically restoring the YouTube stuff. And I started by just making the videos public again, newest ones first. And between 9 and 10 p.m. I was back to actually regular numbers of views per hour. So that was 6 hours between me stupidly clicking on that executable and getting back into the account. And then plus another hour to kind of clean things up mostly. So the type of attack that they used is known as a session hijacking attack. Basically, that program that I accidentally ran took all of my present browser cookies and sessions and sent that to the attacker, and from that they were able to recreate my logged in session, and from that they worked towards adding security devices and all that, and then probably from that recover my password once they had enough security devices to do that, and that locked me out. Of course, two-factor authentication would have probably stopped this account. I didn't have that set up on that account yet, partially because I almost never used the associated Gmail account, so I just didn't think of it. But it probably wasn't that straightforward to just get in, So I've been recommended to look at signed in devices, and I'm looking at that here. So this is my present session, but looking here, this is the day of the hack, 2 days ago now. Another one, so this is from Quebec, I wasn't there. This is from Ontario, I wasn't there. Another one from Ontario, and then another one, 29th of January. So these are all sessions that were created supposedly from Canada, probably with a VPN. Another one from New Brunswick, 29th of January. That might have actually been me after I recovered it. Linux from Germany. That wasn't me. 29th of January, again, the day of the hack. iPhones. I don't have an iPhone. Both 29th of January. Then this is a bit of a red flag. This phone, not one of my phones. And it comes from Russia. And there was also an account manager email address that was added, and that was also a .ru address, so also from Russia. So I think all of these sessions, most of which for Ontario and Quebec, were probably created to essentially make whatever they're doing look legitimate by being more local, and whatever it is, probably defeating Google's AI for detecting that the account was hacked by creating a pattern activity. And that's probably why it took them an hour and a half from first compromise, when I clicked on that file, to actually then locking me out with a security key and all that. The attacker also had 6 hours to pilfer through my Gmail account, probably downloading everything, and they could use that for future impersonation attacks and stuff like that. But fortunately, this Gmail account is one I almost never use, and there really wasn't anything useful in there, so strike on that one. Of course, they could have also gotten files off of my computer, but the time between me realizing I clicked on this malicious executable and unplugging the network cable was only 5 minutes, so they would have had a very short amount of time to pilfer through there. What they did do is grab the session key, and that's as far as they got. They didn't get the session key for my other browser because they could have hacked my other YouTube account, and they didn't. And I don't know to what extent this PC is infected now. I'm using it to edit the video right now because I haven't installed Windows yet. But when I had to restart Sony Vegas with the task manager, I noticed an executable in there that was unfamiliar. So let me just click on this again. And in here we have this thing here, Wise Folder Hider 32-bit. And I googled that, yeah, that is definitely malware, but it doesn't seem to be persistent across resets. But whatever it is, I can't trust this computer anymore, and it shall never be connected to the network again. But I want to get this video done, so I'm actually editing on this computer, and I'll just have to copy that onto a flash drive before I upload it. So, lesson learned, use two-factor authentication, pay attention to the red flags, and if it does happen to you, the conventional way of getting hold of YouTube like that is to message them using Twitter at Team YouTube. It's just, I didn't have a Twitter account. Should have used my wife's account, but anyways, it's done now. Now I just need to reinstall Windows on my PC so I can use it online again.